Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about Overlay DFS Matchup Shop picks of the week. I'm going to be talking about a couple of picks for this week's slate that I actually really like on OverlayDFS.com. Full disclosure, they are a sponsor of mine, but even if they weren't, I would still play on this site because I love it so much, and it's so simple to play. They don't even tell me to say these things. So how it works pretty much is you're going to get a player versus a player. Now, some of them, as you guys can see, you get plus 2.5 or minus 2.5 based on the player. Some of them are straight up, like you can see right here, plus 0 and plus 0 for both guys. So pretty much what it is who is going to score more fantasy points in that game. Will it be Matthew Stafford plus 2.5 fantasy points or Aaron Rodgers minus 2.5 points? That's how you determine who is going to win. Now, you might be saying, Nick, what are the rules on here? How do I kind of figure out what the scoring is? So you go to the rules tab, and I will explain to you the rules real quick. Passing touchdown is 4 points per passing touchdown. Receiving and rushing touchdown are 6 point per touchdown, and it is 0.5 PPR. Very standard kind of league settings for if you're doing a real fantasy football league. Kind of same rules here as you would see on there. So we are going to be talking about my best picks for this week's and the picks that I feel the most confident in overall. We begin down here a little bit lower down onto the screen. You're going to have to scroll down a little bit to Jonathan Taylor versus David Montgomery. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, you may not understand my love for David Montgomery, but I also love big man Jonathan Taylor, and I think that Jonathan Taylor is easily able to beat out David Montgomery in this matchup. You're giving 0 points, you're gaining 0 points. Either way, it is straight up bet, and personally I just think Jonathan Taylor is going to be a better player. Now, Jonathan Taylor is playing up against the Minnesota Vikings, who don't have a very good defense, and then the Chicago Bears and David Montgomery are playing up against the New York Football Giants, who do not have a very good defense. I just personally believe Jonathan Taylor has potential to be a top 10 guy in this matchup. Now with Marlon Mack out, I feel like he's going to get fed, so he's my first best bet of the week on Overlay DFS. Next game down here is Leonard Fournette versus Adrian Peterson. Now, I would not be surprised if Leonard Fournette was to score a touchdown in this game and could potentially edge out Adrian Peterson. But Adrian Peterson last week got 96 rushing yards in that game. Even when they were up by 1,000,000 points, they just kept running the ball, running the ball. And even against Green Bay, I still think Adrian Peterson is going to be involved. Now, I don't think he's going to be like a top 10 back on the week, but I don't see that potential for Leonard Fournette at all. Leonard Fournette is a very risky player on a week-in, week-out standpoint until we really see what he can do. And right now, it seems like Ronald Jones may be in for 18 to 20 touches in this very easy matchup that they have this week. So I would honestly look away from Leonard Fournette. I would feel not very safe picking him. So I'm going to go with Adrian Peterson, even -1 fantasy football point. Next game down here, as we continue to scroll down, is Robert Woods versus Mr. Cooper Kupp. Now, obviously, these guys are on the exact same team, but I was very shocked when I saw this earlier when I was scrolling down here, trying to figure out what my best bets were going to be for the week, that Robert Woods is the one gaining +1 point. Now, I was very surprised because it seemed like last week Robert Woods was the wide receiver 1 on the team and the clear guy that Jared Goff is going to be looking for. Now, I would not be surprised at all if Cooper Kupp was to edge out Robert Woods going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, one of these guys is going to end up getting Darius Slay shadowing over him. Now, Darius Slay does not necessarily shadow over one because if he's smart, he would go from one guy to the other to kind of not just eliminate one of the players, because if you just fucking cover Kupp every single time, the Robert Woods is going to be wide open. Just got to make sure you're moving around the field. So in my opinion, I think Robert Woods edges Cooper Kupp out, even with if this was just a straight up bet. I would prefer Robert Woods, but getting that +1 point could be vital in this matchup, and I just think I'd feel much safer with Bobby Trees here in this matchup. Scrolling down more, T.Y. Hilton versus Michael Gallop. Now, I just have no belief in T.Y. Hilton. Zero belief. The guy just seemed to drop the ball 1,000,000 times and twice on Sunday. Made no fucking sense at all that T.Y. Hilton is even getting thrown the ball so many times. He just could not hang on to it. Now, will T.Y. Hilton be able to figure that out? Probably. Will it be in this game? Maybe. But Michael Gallup has a very juicy matchup up against the Atlanta Falcons today, and I just think that Michael Gallup is going to be able to devour that garbage-ass Atlanta Falcons defense. So I think Michael Gallup should be able to have quite the game today. Next one that I really like here is Darius Slayton versus Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard is losing -1 point. Darius Slayton +1 point. I don't understand how this is possible either. Darius Slayton to me is a lock to defeat Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard, if I'm being honest with you, just doesn't seem to have that same rapport with Danny Dimes that Darius Slayton has. Now, you can argue left, right, up, down, sideways if you think Sterling Shepard is the better wide receiver in real life than Darius Slayton, but it does not seem to matter at all when it comes to Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes just throws the ball to the guy that he believes will be open, and that's always going to be Darius Slayton, who put in a tutty last week up against the Steelers, and he actually scored 2 touchdowns in that game. Now, I don't expect him to score 2 touchdowns on every given week, but Darius Slayton has that big play potential, and getting +1 point to me just makes it even further a lock, in my opinion. Scrolling down here, we got TJ Hawkinson versus Dallas Goedert. Now, Dallas Goedert had an absolute monster game last Sunday, absolutely devoured the Washington football team defense. TJ Hawkinson, just an okay start up against the Green Bay Packers. Even with Galladay out, I just feel like he doesn't have that top 5 potential that, in my opinion, Dallas Goedert has up against the Rams. And then there's one more pick here. Obviously, George Kittle versus Mark Andrews is going to be void, so I would say just don't even bother betting it, because Overlay is smart enough. If the guy does not start on Sunday, the matchup doesn't even count. So I'll go with one more here, and we are going to be going with, let's see, where's the one I wanted? I'm going to take Drew Brees on Monday night going up against Derek Carr. I just feel like Drew Brees is going to be able to overcome that -2 points. I think Derek Carr is a very solid quarterback, and I think he could score a decent amount of fantasy points in this game, but he just won't sniff the amount of point total that, in my opinion, Drew Brees is going to put up in this game, even without Michael Thomas. I think it would be an overreaction to kind of go and get mad because Michael Thomas isn't there and pivot off of him. I think he is going to have a great game on Monday night. So these are my picks of the week. We're going to go over them one more time. We got Jonathan Taylor beating out Mr. David Montgomery. We got Adrian Peterson over Leonard Fournette, Robert Woods over Cooper Kupp, Michael Gallop over T.Y. Hilton, Darius Slayton over Sterling Shepard, Dallas Goedert over T.J. Hawkinson, and then all the way down here at the bottom, Drew Brees over Derek Carr. So if you guys want to see kind of how the betting works, if you put in, say, $10, you would win $8 on the bet, getting your $10 back, as well as an additional $8 on the bet. If you want to go, say, $5, you can win $4 extra and make that a $9 total dollars. You can even just bet $1 and go up 80 cents every single time. And if you keep hitting, you keep taking these picks, you guys are going to keep increasing your money. I went 4 of 5 on Thursday. I'm looking to go a perfect, how many picks do we take? 7? I'm going 7 for 7 this Sunday. We're going to knock it straight out of the park. They call me Young Hank Aaron. I love each and every single one of you guys. I hope that you guys have a great day, and I hope that you guys join me on OverlayDFS.com with these locks. Have a great rest of your guys' day, and I'll see you guys later in a live stream. Goodbye.